One Igbo sociocultural organization, Ohanaeze, yesterday warned the federal government of a looming anarchy in the country if the nuisance of Fulani herders were not checked. In an open letter to the Inspector General of Police, Ohanaeze accused Ŕďśm of declaring war against the Igbo. The letter, titled "The Road to Anarchy" and personally signed by Chief John Ńnàyà-Nwodo, President General of Ohanaeze Worldwide, was made available to journalists in Enugu. Ohanaeze pointedly made reference to an incident that recently took place at Ŕďśm community in Awka South local government area of Anambra State, where the villagers saw 4 Fulani boys openly displaying 6 AK-47 rifles. Nwodo asked Inspector General of Police Mohammed Adamu to intervene to avert danger, saying that no nation survives 2 civil wars without consequences. The letter also chronicled how Fulani leaders in Anambra State staged a walkout on community leaders and security agencies and dared the people to do their worst during a meeting to address the open display of the firearms by the headsmen. Ohanaeze said that Ndigbo were law-abiding people, but people would not fold their arms and watch as killer headsmen continued to kill, rape, maim, and destroy their farms. It is with a heart full of trepidation and responsibility that Ohanaeze Worldwide brings to your notice a potentially explosive situation in Anambra State of Nigeria. The people of Ŕďśm community in Awka South local government area of Anambra State saw 4 Fulani boys with 6 AK-47 rifles slung on their shoulders and riding 2 motorcycles and trade them to Isiagu community, also in Awka South local government area, where they reside. When the news of the brazen wielding of firearms spread across the council area, as law-abiding citizens, the stakeholders there convened a crucial meeting with the police and Fulani leaders in the state and raised the matter for deliberation. The stakeholders told the Fulani leaders, in the presence of men of the State Investigation and Intelligence Bureau, Awka, that they were alarmed and surprised that their boys were flagrantly displaying arms in the public, unmindful of the legal implications of unlawful possession of firearms. The stakeholders expressed disappointment that security agents did not make any attempt to arrest the offending Fulani boys, adding that if it were Igbo boys, they would have been arrested, tortured, and charged to court. But rather than explain what led to the carrying of arms by the boys, or even apologize on behalf of the boys, the Fulani leaders told the stakeholders to do their worst and walked out on them, saying that their boys must always bear arms to protect themselves against religious, ethnic, or tribal attacks from any quarters, and there's nothing anybody can do about it, the letter reads. Ohanaeze stressed that the incident took place in the presence of law enforcement agents and nothing was done to arrest either the Fulani boys or their leaders for overtly declaring war on the people of Anambra State. The letter further read, "The Inspector General of Police, Sir, Ohanaeze is alarmed by this wanton act because of the danger it portends. This raises the following questions. Is the bearing of unlicensed firearms, especially sophisticated ones like AK-47, no longer illegal and therefore punishable in breach of the laws of this country? Do we now have different laws for different ethnic groups in Nigeria? If it were to be members of IPOB or any other group other than Fulani that bears such illegal arms, that fate would be falling them? Does the impetuous action and utterance of the Fulani leaders not show a clear and definite invitation to anarchy? If everybody in this country, irrespective of tribe, carries such firearms to protect themselves, will the security agencies be able to contain the mayhem that will ensue? Can the IGP imagine what fate that would have befallen any Igbo leaders in any parts of the north who dare challenge their host and the police with such impunity and callousness? Mr. Inspector General of Police, Sir, Ohanaeze believes that there is enough tension in the country already, but it is only a tree that it will be cut down and it remains motionless, wanting for the house. The principle of self-defense is even enshrined in the status of the country. Peaceful coexistence is a prerequisite for development. The police are by statute empowered, equipped, and expected to make peace between two warring factions and not to take side or protect one group. The action of the police in Anambra State is, to say the least, despicable and a tacit invitation to anarchy. Expect a coward. Nobody will ever run away from his fatherland and leave it for another to occupy. Ndigbo are not cowards. The Apex Igbo group said the behavior of the police probably explained why it was only police commissioners from a particular part of the country that are posted to Igbo land. Ohanaeze said that this also tends to lay credence to the fears being harbored by Ndigbo that even the military laying siege to Igbo land are there to protect the interests of an ethnic group. Not only have Ndigbo been marginalized in this country, they are even being pushed to the brink. It is always said that no country survives a second civil war. Like I always say, Ndigbo are ever capable of defending themselves. They will not fold their arms and allow gun-toting, marauding Fulani Ērďśm to continue harassing, raping, maiming and killing them in their own homes. We are law-abiding, hospitable, and always ready to coexist with others as friends and brothers, but not as foes and at a supreme price. At a supreme price, enough is enough. Wow, this is really deep. Honestly, guys, this is really, really scary. In broad daylight, we are seeing this kind of a thing. It's not as if it's hidden. And also, you know, just like Ohanaeze has said, they are trying to be law-abiding. Not trying to be law-abiding, they are law-abiding, and that is why they are writing to the president. In my opinion, we all know the president cannot say he is not aware. He's aware of all of these things. And people who have been accusing him that he knows a lot about all these people, even Boko Haram, they are not wrong. Because with all of this kind of a thing, you can't tell me, even the police were there, even at that stakeholders meeting, with the leaders of the community, they were there. And these people walked out on them and told them they can do their worst, that they have to protect themselves. And meanwhile, Buhari is telling Nigerians that if these bandits, as they call them, if they are caught, that they should hand them over to the police, that nobody should take law into their hands, that in a saner environment, that nobody does that. And people are asking, so in a saner environment, people can be taking other people's lives. You will not send warning to them. Because these guys are law-abiding, that is why they are just even calling them. Because even some people are even angry that why would the communities, the leader of that community, be inviting them in the first place? And that was why they invited police. And the police were there. They couldn't do anything. And it cut across board, not only in the southeast. The same thing. I don't know if you remember an incident that happened in Ogun State. The police could not do anything. They were just like, oh, the residents, the Fulani residents in that Ogun State, that they know them, that their fear is the ones that are coming from Niger Republic, because they were pursued, police and soldiers pursued all those Fulani Ērďśm, and they found their ways inside Ogun State. You can imagine, okay, if we know that they are not from Nigeria, then why didn't you arrest them? You are telling us that they are more powerful than you. And don't forget when Okowa said he called on the president and the federal government, or the presidency, he called them that he should he should say something about this Ērďśm. And people are like, why are you asking him to say something? Who told you that he doesn't know? He knows. With this one that happened in Anambra, it's really worrisome and very, very scary. The police were there, they didn't say anything. And the questions that was put to them, to the police, that if it were to be other people, even let's even leave Igbos, if it were to be other tribes, for example, all these Yahoo boys, it does not take them any they don't waste time. They don't take any, it doesn't take them any time. They'll just arrest them. We see them on a daily basis. And they were flaunting, according to what we are hearing, they were flaunting, this Ērďśm were flaunting this gun, AK-47 for that matter. And they were on motorbike, and they traced them to the place. And these people, they are Fulani leaders were saying they are protecting themselves. Now everybody is crying that this and this and this, that they need to protect, the government should protect them, the police should protect them. Now, if everybody starts carrying firearms, then who will remain? And you cannot tell me that the presidency is not aware. Recently, an incident happened in Edo State. It's been happening over and over again. Oshiomhole, Obaseki, they are there fighting themselves. Oshiomhole, even as a party chairman, will not tell us, has not even been able to say anything. Oshiomhole is outspoken. When it comes to other things or other people, mostly opposition, you will see Oshiomhole be sweating, will be jumping like jumping from places to places. He will be talking and talking and talking. But with this issue, they are not saying anything. Even Keyamo from Delta State, the another incident that happened in Delta State with this Ŕďśm, the governor cried out. Everybody cried out. Keyamo, that is from that state and is part of this government, is not saying anything. When they were not in power, when they were not being given appointment, we could see the way they were vibrating. They were talking. But now they are eating because they are all observing table manner. You know, when you are observing table manner, when you are eating, you don't talk, because they are all eating from this government. Majority of them, when they are with the government of the day, they don't say anything. This thing is really, really scary. And when people rejected Ruga in the first place, people were like, oh, they are trying not to live with other people. A lot of people who had seen these things, they've been crying and be saying a lot of things. And that was why a lot of people came out and said, no, this Ruga of a thing, we will not allow it. Will you not blame Nnamdi Kanu? Because he knows all of these things, and because it's not really with them, and it's not even his own course is a different course entirely, and that's why he has that boldness. A lot of people know what Nnamdi Kanu knows, but because of the how will I put it, the willingness or the political will, I'm not even saying because they don't have that boldness to say it, or because they feel that they could be arrested or something. Or some people, some people are just economical with the truth. They will see things that are going wrong just for them to speak, maybe because out of fear or out of anything. Nnamdi Kanu has been saying these things over and over again for a very long time. People are telling him, let him go and sit down. He does not know what he's talking about. Oh, he's a small boy. He's this and this and that. Everything he said are happening now. He will call the country zoo. And people will say, oh, he's insulting the country. Are we not experiencing all of these things now? Everything he said is what we are experiencing. And the other things that people are not even still buying, they don't even want to believe it. Everything will still be made open. You can see the boldness of all these Fulani Ẹ́smẹ́. Now they are still writing to the president. They want to tell us they are not aware. All these people from the southern parts of the country, like I always say, these people don't work in isolation. The same our people are working with them. They are helping them with all of this kind of thing just because of their selfish interest. They think that everything that they have gathered or what they are acquiring or what they are benefiting will last them for a very long time. It's not going to happen, because the mindset they always have is that, oh, whatever we are getting, now let us get it. When we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. But for now, because of that temporary enjoyment, they forgotten the future, forgetting that posterity will judge. You can imagine this kind of thing. Ohanaeze is still writing the presidency, writing Buhari to do what? And the question they are asking, if this kind of action, it was to be exhibited in the northern part of the country, do you think the other tribes would have gotten away with it? This is to tell you that there is an agenda. There is no need for us to be politically correct. There is an agenda. We are facing all this problem day in and day out, and people expect you to be quiet, not to say anything. Oh, don't say anything, because before you say anything, they will term it as hate speech. But people who are carrying all these guns and what have you in broad daylight, and they saw them, and they are telling the people that you can do your words. So what do you call that? So if you are saying the truth, they want to term it as hate speech. The more we continue to be politically correct, the more things will be getting worse day in, day out. Like I always say, those who are affected will be the people that will be able to tell the story. The victims, they will be the ones that will be able to tell the stories. If you think that this thing has not gotten to you, don't be too deceived. Don't be too relaxed. Because in no time, if we do not do anything, if we don't speak out the way we ought to, what we are running for will come to our doorstep. It is not by swear. It is not by cause. If we don't do the needful, because this thing is becoming unbecoming. Those who were shouting 4+4, those people who were shouting, oh, say Baba, say Baba. But those who voted, who came out and said, oh, we have to support this government and what have you, all of them, they've gone mum. They are not saying anything. You can imagine people coming at. It's not as if maybe it was a rumor They told them to their faces. They saw those people and they traced them to where they live. And you are telling me that people don't know what they are talking about. And you are telling me that the presidency, has not heard about this thing. They've heard. They know what is happening. And they have an agenda. There's an agenda. Nobody can tell us that there's no agenda with this government. With all of this is happening. They don't even arrest them. We have never even seen any arrest being made concerning this Fulani S-men. If you tell us they are not Fulani S-men, then why can't you arrest them? And let us know who are the people that are disguising with Fulani S-men. But that one is a different ball game entirely, because we know that they are Fulani S-men. With this singular act of this Fulani S-men in Anambra State, the Mietiala in Anambra State, for them to have worked out on the security people and the host community, it's evidence. We don't need a soothsayer to come and tell us what is not. So guys, that is just my own opinion concerning this, and I would like to hear from you what you think about this. Leave your comments below in the comment section, and let's